So what if I told you that when you set up to the golf ball and put a good swing on it, in order for you to hit some of the longest, straightest shots ever, just like this one, all you need to be able to do is control one part of your body. But it's probably not the part of the body you're thinking about, it's your wrist, and specifically that lead wrist. So, I think most golfers are very aware that how we get that club face back at impact is so important as to where the golf ball goes. But I appreciate the golf club isn't part of you, so very often it's easier to feel part of your body. And what I notice with most golfers when they set up, I think most golfers set up pretty decently to the golf ball, but when they swing, even though they put lots and lots of effort in, they get that left to right shape, and we can see there only 143 yards carry from 86 mile an hour club head speed. And the biggest difference I see between club players and tour players and elite ball strikers is what they do with that lead wrist into impact. So let's dive into some detail. So I've got hack motion on my wrist, just so I can give you a little bit of feedback as to kind of what's actually going on with my wrist position. I use TrackMan in all my videos where I can, and that gives us great data on how I'm delivering the club head. But it's amazing how if you can get good at controlling that lead wrist, you're going to control that club face and influence the ball better. So if we look at setup for most golfers, as they set up to the golf ball there, when that wrist is holding onto the golf club, we can see there's some shape there, and the club, your wrist is in kind of extension, okay? But as we swing the golf club, what we're looking for is to lose a little bit of that shape, and into impact, we're actually looking for that wrist joint to be in flexion. So the big difference you would see from address to impact would be that. So you can see the difference in that club face is the club face is square at address, but in theory, the club face will be open there, but that's because our body then would be more open into impact and would produce more of that. I'll go down to the golf ball, and that's more of that impact position. So I'm sure any of you that video your golf swing will say, well, that's definitely not where I get. So a great little drill to begin with, whether you've got hack motion or not, you know, they've got a new sensor out now. This has literally just come out. I'm one of the first people, very fortunate to get my hands on this, but just straps onto the wrist, attaches to your glove, or there's a strap goes around your hand, and you can measure how that lead wrist is. And you can also, I'm going to show you quite a cool little drill you can use and some extra feedback they've given, which I love, for this sensor. So the first thing I would want golfers to do who hit that left to right shape, I would say to them, right, the first thing I want you to do is really concentrate on trying to get that club face closed at impact. And I wouldn't necessarily be bothered initially how you do it, whether you feel you do it just through impact, you build something into your takeaway, you feel it transition from backswing to downswing, but all I want you to focus on is trying to get that ball curving to the left. So that one started to curve a little bit right to left. And we can see on TrackMan there, I've got my club face 5 degrees closed. But interestingly on hack motion there, we can see at address, I had that little bit of extension. At the top of my backswing, I was 20 degrees extended, so not really cupped, but by impact, I was 12 degrees flexed. So I'd really changed a lot from the top of my backswing into impact. So I would say for me, that didn't feel massively exaggerated, but for any of you guys who sliced the ball, even that will feel like a massive change. So we're going to go one more of those, trying to feel that coming into impact, I'm going to get that club face closing. Like I said, I want to get that feel and trust that my body's a bit more out of the way. There's a big shapy one. From right to left, we see the curve. We can see the club face 9 degrees closed. And again, when we use the feedback from hack motion, very similar address, very similar at the top, but all of a sudden now, 22 degrees at impact. Now that would be too exaggerated and we wouldn't want to see that. But I'll be massively surprised if anyone who slices the golf ball is doing anywhere close to that. So if you want to then go into training mode, you can go into biofeedback. And if you're somebody that wants to feel a change at the top of the swing, you can go onto there. You can also go audio feedback, which is that noise when the wrist's in the right place. But the one I love, and you won't be able to hear this, unless I maybe move this very close. It's actually a vibration now on there. So I'm going to leave both on there just for now. Now, I think it depends on your learning style. So anyone who kind of is auditory, sounds are important. I think that noise can be great. Definitely for me, I find that a little off-putting, which it's the vibration that's the little improvement, I think, or they've added, which I think is an improvement. So I can get there at address, make my swing, and most golfers, when they make their swing, will see it goes red, there's no noise and there's no vibration. So they might start feeling that they keep that club head looking more towards where the ball would be. I can feel it vibrating. And if the club goes behind me, I can feel straight away that I'll lose the vibration. I don't hear the sound. And we can see on the screen there, all of a sudden I'm 25 degrees with that club face closed. So that's a killer, and that's definitely my movement. But for most golfers, they'll be more this way. And on the way down, holding onto that angle. So we want to feel club face looking at the ball. Then you just turn in your shoulders to get to the top. Now you can see there, my instinctive one is to want to flatten my wrist off. So I'm going to feel that my thumb stays more under the shaft. And then as I swing down, I can feel there that I want to go that way, which is my bad one, but most golfers won't. They'll be wanting to go this way. So you want to rehearse keeping that thumb more on top of the shaft, turning the body out the way, and we can feel the vibration, we can hear the noise, and we can see on the app it's green. So I'm a massive fan as a coach that you really need to make sure that when you're doing something, what you're thinking about, what you're actually doing, perfectly are the same, but if not, they're incredibly close. So I think anytime you can use feedback, it's great. So then you would rehearse that a little bit. And like I said, it depends. Some golfers will want to feel that they get that early. See, I lose that at impact, but my bad one would definitely be left anyway. So I can rehearse that feeling. Now, I think if you can't do it slowly, you're definitely not going to do it at full speed because your body will want to go back to closer to what you're used to doing. So I would then stand up there, having rehearsed that a few times, and say, can I hit one kind of not at full speed, but putting a little bit more speed in. Okay, so we can see there at address, I was fantastic. We can see at the top of the swing, I was good. For me, I got that slightly too flexed. Now, my club delivery was really good for me there, and I sometimes find I don't necessarily fit perfectly into where Hack Motion thinks I should be, but you can in practice move to where you should be and set your own little boundaries for good. So that, for me, would be great. But for most golfers, you're definitely going to be more of this position into impact. We can see there on the screen, plus 32 in extension, and that one all day long is going to miss over to the right. It's going to be that destructive one. It's going to be that one that goes nowhere. So, like I said, I'm getting some great feedback from Hack Motion. I obviously get great feedback on what the club's doing from TrackMan, but I appreciate not everyone's going to have something like that. That's very affordable. There's some other benefits to this that are improved since the last piece of hardware that they had. I'm not going to talk about them in this. This isn't a sales video whatsoever. I'm going to pop what all the new additions are in my description below. And there is a link if you're interested in getting one. Please, you know, always buy stuff that's useful. And if you do buy something like this, let me know. Let me know how it's improving your golf. Let me know if you used it properly. And you don't have to just use it on full swing. It can help with every part of the game. So you want to get that feeling of being there, trying to get that feel. So you're trying to close that club face. I find it harder to get it up there, but you want to feel that. Get out the way and that will help you. So we're going to stand up, try and miss one left again if you're a slicer with the ball. Love that. See that ball curving round. Club face really, really closed. And again on hack motion there, addressing at the top of my swing, great. But what I was trying to do was shut the club face. And we can see there, I really turned that wrist down. You definitely won't manage it. If you're a slicer of the golf ball, I guarantee, and again, comment below and let me know if this is not the case with you, but if you're slicing the ball, you'll find that really hard to get that wrist into that position. It's a real challenge. But the more of it you can do, then you can set up there, put that swing, feel not as exaggerated, deliver the club well, hit those bullet straight shots, have lots of speed, lots of control, lots of distance, and ultimately from learning how you control that lead wrist, you're going to get more control on the club, have more speed, and ultimately hit some of the best shots you've ever hit.